Well, hello everyone. I'm
Hello.
so glad to see you all. I'm Reverend Anna Scott, as has been mentioned, but sometimes I forget to say that. And I just want to wish you all a very happy Easter. Um, I was so excited that I got to speak on Easter Sunday. To me, that's a big honor. So yeah, so here we are at Easter. And today we're not just remembering a resurrection, but being called into one, being called into a resurrection of our own. You know, there's the story, of course, you may know, of Jesus Christ, but that is really not just meant to stay on a page in a book or.
That's not going to work if I don't take, oops, this.
Oh, uh-oh, now we have a Lowe's receipt up.
Now you're loaded.
Okay, now, back to the program. Yeah, so we're being called into our own resurrection today. That story of Jesus is not meant to just be in history, but it is meant to awaken something in us. That same power of conscious rebirth, the same divine life that cannot be contained or confined, is alive in you right now. The question is not whether resurrection is possible. The question is whether you are willing to participate in your own resurrection. Are you willing to rise again, to appear again? I loved that song, Rise Up. I've never heard it before, but man, that was fun. And Gretchen, sometime you need to teach us the dance steps. Yeah, so the topic today is conscious rebirth. Now, some of you may, at the beginning of the year, choose words that are going to be your theme for the year. No?
Yeah.
Oh, good. I was like, oh, I'm at the wrong place. So for this year, my words are a conscious rebirth. And I will tell you why that is. I retired from CSL Grand Junction on June 1st, and after having been a part of that community for 35 years-ish. And not having ever been a minister before that, I didn't realize that when I retired that I would be asked to step away for a period of time. And so for me, last summer was a period of a great spiritual growth and sometimes a lot of pain. I wanted, before I knew the thing that I had to be gone, I wanted to be in service to the center. I'd been in service there for 35 years. I wanted to continue to help and to support and see the center move into the next phase. And that wasn't in the cards. So I found other things to do. One thing was floating down the river. Mike was one of the people on those trips, and so was Cindy. And I visited new places, even new places as far away as Meeker, Colorado. Yeah, some of us went to those sheepdog trials last year. That is awesome. I would recommend it. It's around the first week of September, I think. Yeah, and then I am so grateful to this community for inviting me here. You don't know what that did for me. Spiritually. And, all those years in Science of Mind, I studied Science of Mind writers. And so, and, a little bit of some of the others, but since I have been here a few times, I have enjoyed reading and studying other teachers, the Unity teachers. So this year, at the beginning of the year, I chose this theme, Conscious Rebirth, and I knew that a shift was happening in me, that I was opening to a newness, a different space for me, a different way for me to be, and a different way for me to serve. And then,
I'll have to change the first slide. Okay, you got it.
did I or did you? Somebody did.
You're good.
So today we're talking about Easter, a time of crucifixion and resurrection, a time of death and a rebirth of consciousness. You know, I think it's an interesting thing. I'm not trying to make fun of anyone, but like, so the Last Supper on Maundy, Thursday. Now, I always thought that was weird. I thought Maundy meant like sad. It really means commandment. And it is said that that is when Jesus told the people, the disciples, to love one another as I have loved you. So that was the commandment that he gave at the Last Supper. And then Good Friday rolled around and Jesus was crucified, according to the story in the Bible. And when I was younger, I used to think that Jesus was the only one that was ever crucified, but no, the Romans crucified a lot of people. They were not a very nice group of people. Yeah. So they did this as a way to punish criminals and slaves and rebels, and I guess Jesus was a rebel. A way for them to maintain order through fear. Think about that for a minute. Yeah. Yeah, so the day that Jesus was crucified, it is said that there were two other men crucified that day that were thieves. And metaphysically, I've heard that it means that they represent the past and the future. How living in the past takes away our creative new growth. It doesn't allow us to move forward. And living in the future takes away our peace and the awe of this present moment. Yeah, so at the material level, Easter commemorates the resurrection of Christ. The metaphysical meaning of Easter goes far beyond that historical event. It infers an inner universal process of transformation. And as we all know, we can all be transformed. We are all transformed at times. So we understand this as an inner process. Eric Butterworth said that while many were looking out the window of Calvary, now Calvary is a hill that people were crucified on, I guess. Now I didn't know there was a window there, but we'll just go with it. So many were looking out the window of Calvary. A few were looking forward. A few were looking inward. While some gazed sadly at the sunset, the wise looked toward the dawn. Symbolically, this suggests that it is wisdom to turn from appearances and know the truth, to see through all limitation to the cosmic vision of wholeness. When we look through limitation to wholeness, it is a transformative process. So, what is the cost of transformation? Nothing can be transformed without leaving something behind. And often, for us in our human lives, rebirth isn't that comfortable. We like the idea of renewal. We like the idea of change, but we resist letting go of what is present now. So in order to transform, we have to be willing to release something. We must be willing to surrender something. We must be willing to let go of who we thought we were, who we claimed we were, and allow our consciousness to align with the divine and guide us to who we truly are in that moment. So the resurrection can be seen as the rising of the true essence of Christ consciousness, that pure consciousness of Christ that is within each and every one of us, that place within that has never been hurt or harmed. We can't step into a new life while still grasping on to the old one. In the Bible, in Romans 12:2, it says, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Now, I've heard that part a lot of times, but I never heard this end part. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is. It's good, pleasing, and perfect will. So what is God's will for us? What is God's will for us? Do you feel it in your body, in your heart? God's will for us is to be who we are, divine creatures. We are the light. So I believe that rebirth, resurrection, is not an accident. It is chosen. It is something we claim. It is our evolutionary path. Eric Butterworth said, you are not a creature of circumstance. You are a creator of circumstance. We are creators. We do have power. Our thoughts, our words, our actions do make a difference in our lives. So as we allow with pure consciousness to live as us, we rise above appearances. We are able to look beyond the appearances. It is said that when Jesus was in the tomb, he surrendered his life as a man. He surrendered his life as an ego. He surrendered to an elevated state of pure consciousness. He surrendered to divine will. We can do the same. As we release our ego self, we hold the high watch for ourselves and for our world. We are able to see the highest vision of ourselves if we allow. So this is Ernest Holmes that said this. There's a power for good in the universe greater than you are, and you can use it. So how do we use this power for good? Is that just a nice, pleasant statement? Can we use it? Samuel, can we use it?
We do.
We do use it, yes. But first, we must release the control that we think that we have, that we think we control everything. We think we're so smart. Oh yeah, we know it all. We've got to release that and trust that the universe has our back. There's this course called Way of Mastery. I don't know if you've heard of that, but it's similar to Course in Miracles. Thank you. Yeah, kind of an updated version of that. And I thought it was interesting in the reading that I was doing in that the other day. It said, all suffering is the resistance of reality, the big R reality, like the truth. All suffering is the resistance of reality. All awakening and healing is the letting go of resistance. So my question for you today is there something in your life that you are ready to let go? Is there something in your life that you're ready to let go?
Yes.
Can you embody love, forgiveness, and truth even when it is hard? Yeah, before we can transform, we have to release the ego. We have to let it step aside and make room for a higher truth. You know, Easter coincides with springtime for a reason. It reflects cycles of renewal in all of life. There is an energy of growth. I feel there is an energy of optimism at this time of year, and I am grateful for it. I think it's a good time to have something to be optimistic about. So during this time of year, there's an energy in our life that is being renewed. And as we trust in the divine, we look to the higher ground, and realize we always have the opportunity to begin again. The potential of Easter is the moment we stop resisting that power, the moment that we trust and move forward in confidence. What we are not changing, we are choosing. So, this dying away, the transformation, is always available to us. So, today I'm asking myself, and you're welcome to join me if you like, ask yourself, what in me is ready to die? Am I willing? We are not bound by our past. We can rise again and again to a new way of being. One of my teachers over these years in Science of Mind has been Cynthia James. I don't know if you all know Cynthia James, but she wrote this piece, and I just thought this is the essence of this message today. Her title is What We Are Experiencing, and the Possibility of Soul Resurrection. She says, everywhere I go, people are carrying something heavy, uncertainty about the future, financial pressure, division in families and communities, a quiet exhaustion from trying to hold it all together. Many people are asking, what is happening to our world? Why does everything feel so tense, so fragile, so overwhelming? And beneath those questions is an even deeper one. How do we stay whole in the middle of it all? Because the truth is, we are living in a time of great disruption. Old systems are shifting. Old identities are being challenged. Old ways of coping are no longer working. People are tired of pretending, tired of performing, tired of pushing through without support. And yet, within this very moment of disruption lives an extraordinary possibility. The possibility is not just change, the possibility is resurrection. Not a resurrection of the body, but a resurrection of the soul, as a rising of the parts of us that have been buried by fear, silenced by disappointment, or forgotten in the rush to survive. A resurrection of courage, a resurrection of compassion, a resurrection of truth, a resurrection of purpose. Because sometimes life does not break us, it breaks open the places within us where something new is trying to be born. What if these times are not only about loss and uncertainty? What if they are also about remembering who we are? Not the roles we play, not the titles we carry, not the expectations placed upon us, but the deeper self, the wise self, the resilient self, the sacred self. Soul resurrection happens when we choose to rise again with greater awareness, greater love, and greater intention, even when life has been hard. And here is the beautiful truth. Resurrection is not a one-time event. It is a daily decision, a decision to hope again, to trust again, to speak again, to live again. So the question before us is not simply, how do we survive these times? The real question is, what part of my soul is ready to rise now? So Butterworth taught that Christianity, he believed, he felt that they focused too much on the cross, the feeling of regret for the actions of the people that crucified Jesus. But he taught that a far more relevant symbol might be the empty tomb, the perfect circle. He said the darkness and suffering must give way to the presence and power. The looking outward to form and tradition must be replaced by looking inward to oneness and looking forward in the confidence of growth and overcoming. We, each one of us, like the infinity of a circle, can rise again and again into a new way of being. Jesus said to one of the thieves that was being crucified with him, "Today you'll be with me in paradise." We are not becoming something new. We are revealing the truth of who we are. We are revealing what has always been. We know that paradise is oneness. Paradise is spiritual awareness. Paradise is living in this now moment. So if you would